Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Village of Bartlett Board meeting for April 21st, 2026. I ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman?
Here.
Daney?
Here.
Gansey?
Here.
Hopkins?
Here.
Laporte?
Here.
Swansky?
Here.
President Gunstein.
Here. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That'll take us to our town hall portion of the meeting. If anybody is here or online that would like to address the board, please do so by stepping up to the podium, state your name and address. And please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Anybody? Anybody online? Doesn't look like it. All right. That'll close the town hall portion of the meeting, take us to our consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk will be considered routine and will be acted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a board member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered an appropriate point in the agenda. With that said, would anybody like to remove or add anything from the consent agenda? No? All right. Can I get a motion to approve
So
the consent agenda, which will include the minutes from board meeting 3/3/2026, committee meeting 3/3/26, and board meeting 3/10/26, the bills list. Moved by trustee Daney, second by trustee Hopkins. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky.
Yes.
That motion carries. That'll take us to our treasurer's report. Mr. Treasurer?
Thank you, Mayor. Treasurer's report included in the board packets for the month of February. Sales tax collected in February was for the month of November and totaled $682,477, which is up $108,164, or 19% from the prior year. Motor fuel tax allotments for February totaled $157,115, which is up $1,055, or 0.67% from the prior year. Income tax collected in February totaled $626,659, which is up $13,029, or 2.1% from the prior year. And Mayor, at last month's treasurer's report, you had requested how much total revenue we lost from LGDF since it's been reduced from 10%. And that number is up to $43,188,639. That's it for the treasurer's report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Anybody have any questions? All right. Well, all these people came out tonight to listen to the treasurer's report.
know.
So, great job.
Hopefully I didn't disappoint.
All right, it'll take us to the most important part of tonight's meeting, President's report, and that's the police officer swearing-in ceremony. And I will turn it over to Chief Ryan Conway.
Great.
All right, good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here. Gatherings like this are important. They remind us that policing is not done alone. It is rooted in community, supported by family, and strengthened by partnership. To our families and friends who are in attendance, your presence speaks volumes. The individuals standing before us did not arrive here on their own. They were shaped by your guidance, supported by your encouragement, and will continue to rely on your strength as they begin this new chapter in their life. This profession they are entering will ask a great deal of them, and at times of you as well. So tonight is a celebration for everyone. I want to take a moment and recognize Mayor Gunstein, all our village Bartlett trustees, village administrator Paula Schumacher, and our entire village team. Your continued support ensures that we can provide the level of service our residents expect and deserve. It is through this shared commitment that we are able to maintain a department built on professionalism and accountability. This ceremony is not simply about taking an oath. It's about accepting responsibility that cannot be taken lightly. The decision to become a police officer is a decision to step forward when others step back, to listen when others speak, and to act when it matters most. The oath these officers are about to take is a promise to serve with fairness, to act with integrity, and to remain steadfast in the face of challenge. In Bartlett, we believe that the true measure of our work is found in the trust that we build. It is earned over time through consistency, respect, and doing the right thing, even when it's difficult or often unseen. This badge that you will wear represents that trust. It reflects not only our actions, but the values of this entire organization and the community we serve. This department takes great pride in being a part of the fabric of this community. We are not separate from it, we are a part of it. That means showing up, being present, and understanding that every interaction matters. Tonight, we welcome two individuals who have chosen to take on that responsibility. Hannah Peat, will you please come forward? Hannah currently lives in Lombard with her husband, Thomas. She graduated from Naperville North High School in 2015, and she has spent the past several years serving in public safety as a telecommunicator with DUCOM. In that role, she has already demonstrated her ability to remain calm under pressure and provide critical support during moments of need. She even assists on our own radio channel. Joining Hannah tonight are her husband, Thomas, her brother, Bryce O'Gwin, and her parents, Bruce and Monica O'Gwin. Hannah will now be sworn in by the village clerk, Lorna Gillis. Join me. Joselyne Corona Ramirez, please come forward. Joselyne currently resides in Aurora with her husband, David. She graduated from Wrightstown Community High School in Wisconsin in 2015 and went on to earn her bachelor's degree in marketing from Aurora University in 2018. Since 2019, she has worked as a program coordinator for Aldi, where she has developed strong leadership, communication, and organizational skills that will serve her well throughout this profession. Tonight, she is joined by her husband, David Brown, her mother and stepfather, Rosario and Paul McNeil, and her brother and sister-in-law, Luis and Donna Corona Ramirez. Joselyne will now be sworn in by village clerk Lorna Gillis.
There goes everybody.
Don't you guys want to stay for budget talk?
Let's move this along. Let's move this along. It's ridiculous.
See, Matt, nobody came to listen to the treasurer's report. Just saying. Could have been done in an email.
I think they would have stayed for Todd.
They probably would have. They probably would have.
Think of all the practice.
All right. Again, thank you, Chief Conway, and to the entire Bartlett Police Department. It's a testament to what you're doing, that people want to work in this town, so, as a village of Bartlett police officer, so thank you. That'll take us to our proclamation today for, tonight for Arbor Day. I've asked Trustee Gansey to read the proclamation, so thank you.
Stand up there.
You don't have to.
I'm just standing here. Arbor Day Proclamation. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our village increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, on behalf of Daniel H. Gunstein, President of the Village of Bartlett, Cook, DuPage, and Kane Counties, Illinois, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the Village of Bartlett, and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations.
Thank you, Trustee Gansey. Okay, that'll take us to our next proclamation. And before we go into that, I just want to point out a few events that are going to be happening at Bartlett Hills. As most of you know, we're celebrating a 100-year anniversary, and May 1st kicks off the 100-year anniversary celebration. So I'm happy to report that the May 1st 1920s theme Scramble Golf outing is sold out officially, so great job on that and promoting that. July 25th, Head for the Hills Family Golf Festival, free family golf games and play. Registration is required. And then we have Resident Appreciation Days, exclusive for Bartlett residents. For every paid adult, one resident youth age 17 or under may play for free every Saturday and Sunday after 5 p.m. all season long. And to bookend the celebration, September 23rd, a History of Golf in Chicago program provided by the Bartlett History Museum, and the opening of the Bartlett Hills, a Century on Par from 1926 to 2026 exhibit at the Bartlett History Museum. So thank you for everybody that put that together. It's going to be a great summer of golf. So with that, I'm going to turn over the proclamation to Trustee Daney, who has visited Bartlett Hills once or twice, so he felt
All right. Thank you very much.
Today?
today. I meant today. Did I forget to say today?
I apologize for not wearing a sport coat this evening, but I have a tea time immediately after the meeting, dressed accordingly. Before I read the proclamation, I'd just like to give you a little information on Bartlett Hills. Bartlett Hills was really built in the 1920s. The proclamation states it as September 6th is when it opened, 1926, and was built by a group of businessmen in Chicago. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to build it as a private club, an equestrian facility, and a swimming pool. That's what they wanted. And the original clubhouse, the clubhouse they wanted to build was by the 10th green, which is now the practice range on the hill up there. And the pond was supposed to be behind that. But that never materialized because after the club opened, the depression hit, and they had to walk away. The clubhouse was on 10 and 11. It was designed by Charles Maddox, and was really unique. He was a card player, so he designed some of the greens in the shape of a card. And I remember hole 6 was a diamond, hole 7 was a star, and I remember playing that. Hole 9 was hard, as a matter of fact, also. But I remember hole 7, because if you got on the green and the pin was in the lower location or something, and you were above it, you'd putt off the green. In some instances, you literally had to turn your back to the hole, putt up the hill, and have it come back and try and drop in the cup. But in any way, 78, this is interesting. The club was purchased in 78 by the village, and it was a referendum, and the referendum passed 4-1, which is amazing. We're so happy to have that. That was supposed to be a housing complex with, I forget how many homes they were going to have in there, but that's exactly what happened. But when it came to referendum in 78, it passed 4-1. Because they never built that clubhouse on 10 and 11, they used the old barn as the clubhouse. That was the clubhouse. And I remember we used to go in there and have so much fun. It was unbelievable. They had a horseshoe-shaped bar. We had played darts in there. We'd tell jokes, tell stories, and we'd also settle up on our wages. The new clubhouse, the old barn was demoed in 95, and the new clubhouse was completed in 97. And we've had the privilege of now having Bob Gavlik as our pro. And Phil, you've been there since what, 1997? I started the clubhouse. When the clubhouse was built. So, and we've seen so many improvements at that course, it's just unbelievable. Matt is doing a great job out there, and the people that preceded Matt did a great job. We've had a new irrigation system, bent fairways, the telescopes are going at 9 and 10. 10 and 11 used to be short par 4s. 1990, 10 was converted to the driving range. And 18 used to be a par 4. It's now par 3. And there was a hill there, and you could not see people hit their second shots. And what they would do is, when they hit their second shots to the green, we had a creek running through there. That wasn't a pond, it was a creek. They had a bell on the side that you would ring, and that would be the all clear for the people to tee off. But the changes that have been there, I've been playing golf out there since the 70s, and the people that I've talked to that play that course now say it's one of the best public courses in the area. So with that, I'll read the proclamation. I don't want to be late for my tea time.
Proclamation.
A proclamation celebrating 100 years of tradition at Bartlett Hills Golf Club, and we have those flags there too. I don't know how many. Are those going to be on all the greens? For the event. Whereas the Bartlett Hills Golf Club, located at 800 West Oneida Avenue, Bartlett, officially opened on September 6, 1926. And whereas Bartlett Hills Golf Club is an 18-hole course designed by Charles E. Maddox, constructed using horses, mules to move earth, build greens, and shape fairways. Whereas in 1978, the residents of Bartlett voted in favor of purchasing the 743-acre property, and whereas the clubhouse underwent renovations in 1997, making the transition from the historic barn to the new era of celebration, leisure, entertainment, and lasting friendships. And whereas it is estimated that more than 1.5 million golfers have traveled through downtown Bartlett to enjoy the day of memories with families and friends at Bartlett Hills. And whereas Bartlett Hills has served as a setting for countless milestones, including baby showers, birthdays, graduations, weddings, celebrations of life. And whereas Bartlett Hills has become an integral part of the community and a source of goodwill through partnerships with impactful organizations such as the Lions Club, the Chamber of Commerce, Special Olympics, Rotary, and generations of junior
and high school golfers. Now, therefore, I, Raymond H. Daney, on behalf of our Mayor, Daniel H. Gunstein, President of Village of Bartlett, Cook, DuPage, and Kane Counties, Illinois, do hereby proclaim the year of 2026 as a celebration of 100 years of tradition at Bartlett Hills. Congratulations, guys. Like it said, it opened in 26. I was born shortly thereafter. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ray. All right. That'll conclude our president's report and take us to questions to staff. Does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss with staff?
Yeah, I have a question on how we are doing with North Avenue and gathering information. And what we're, like, if we're doing anything to stop. I know there was an increase in truck traffic again.
Yeah, so we did have a brief increase, and that was due to a crash most recently. I would say our truck enforcement had been significantly increased. Actually, Paul, I think I just gave you that data most recently, and that we can share that data with you. The number of complaints has significantly decreased to the point where we had 0 up until that day we had the crash that had to feed off into North Avenue.
Okay.
So aside from that, it's been relatively beneficial with the new enacted ordinance.
Perfect, thanks. Well, another question. I know they're gathering signatures over there. Can you remind me, like, what happens once they gather signatures? Is that for traffic calming or something else?
That would be for the traffic calming.
Okay. Okay, so we would wait till we had that document? Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have anything for staff?
Yeah, I do. I'd like to recognize some of our commissioners. We have John Sampe, Fire and Police. He served 12 years. And a big shout out to Mr. Mike Weirden, Planning and Zoning. He has 47 years. So congratulations, Mike, for 47 years. That's all I have.
Anybody else?
I just want to say one thing. If you haven't been out there and you don't have anything to do on a Saturday night, the Village of Bartlett Museum Collection online is an excellent resource if you just like to geek out and look at stuff that
Oh, that's cool.
seems like yesterday, and it's been about 50 years. So a lot of good stuff on Bartlett Hills, a lot of good maps, a lot of good aerial maps. So
What whiskey does that pair with?
shout out to Pam. Any bourbon will do. Thank you.
Trustee Laporte, Trustee Daney, Trustee Gansey. I do have one thing for Tyler. I'm getting a lot of questions when the no parking signs are going to go up on North Avenue for the bike lane, if they haven't already.
I don't believe they have, but I think we could get those up really anytime.
Okay. I think it's 2 lanes of bike on the east side or the south side of the street. And so I think there's a lot of confusion if people can park there or not, so. And then while I have you, being that the warranty work is taking place at the fountain and the streetscapes, is it gonna keep us on schedule for the opening of that?
We're still working on a date to do some of the repairs. But we did turn on the fountain and test it out, and that went well.
Okay.
So,
All right.
moving forward with it.
Well, we're still on track for that May 5th date.
All right. And then, when will the village start the bike path repairs that are scheduled for this year? Just so I can let residents know.
So usually that's around like May, June. We do it throughout the construction season whenever we have an in-house crew. That'll do that. So it's whenever we have time. So yeah, starting in May.
Can we put out a map that indicates what areas are going to be worked on? Because I think that's the biggest question, making sure that people are aware that bike path repairs are still happening and what areas are going to be done, and maybe put the date on there.
Yeah, Mayor, that map is already available on the website under
it?
our CIP plan.
Okay.
Could you send us a link to that, Paula? Because the website's a little... Just a shout out to Scott for handling comments on Facebook. Village Bartlett put up some information on the TIF, and there was a lot of people with a lot of opinions, and Scott did a good job handling that, so thank you.
All right, anybody else have anything for staff? All right. That'll take us to our standing committee reports. Building and Zoning, Chairman Hopkins.
Thank you, President Gunstein. We have one item on our agenda, and that's the resolution stating the Village of Bartlett's opposition to the Building Up Illinois Department bill proposal. The proposal resolution formally expresses the Village of Bartlett's opposition to build legislation, emphasizing the importance of preserving municipal authority over land use and zoning decisions. The resolution asserts that local control is essential to managing growth, protecting property values, ensuring appropriate infrastructure and development outcomes. The resolution further argues that housing affordability challenges are primarily driven by financial and market factors rather than local zoning practices, and the state-level solutions such as incentives and infrastructure investment would be more effective. The village urges the Illinois General Assembly and the governor to refrain from imposing additional restrictions on municipal zoning's authority and to maintain the current framework that allows communities to guide their own development. With that, I move to approve Resolution 2026-41, a resolution approving the Village of Bartlett's opposition to the Build Act.
Second that.
Right. Moved by trustee Hopkins, second by trustee Daney. Any questions? All right.
How many communities have done resolutions like this?
246, I believe I read today.
There are more being approved every day.
So I've met with our state reps and senators regarding this, and a couple of them asked, what do you like in it? And I said, it's not a negotiation, this is an overreach. I mean, we have a zoning map, we have, an economic planning department. Every municipality has that. This is, to me, this is an overreach by our state to try to change the narrative and squeeze houses where they shouldn't be, and not taking into consideration stormwater management, egress. There's a lot of flaws in this. So I think it was definitely something that just needs to be reeled back and maybe represented in the future at different terms. So I'm completely 100% against this Build Act as it sits right now. So, does anybody have any other
Do
questions?
you know how it has changed, or like if all these other places have given resolutions, if anything, nothing has happened?
I believe it's just heading into its first reading.
Oh, okay.
So there haven't been any amendments proposed.
Okay.
And just to take a snapshot of something that Schomburg pointed out, they took a side-by-side comparison of a street that had aging homes, and in that street, you had a ranch house, and then what would be allowed is a 3-flat, and then another ranch house next to it with a minimal lot line because of it. So that's just one example. And for me, the other example is we, as a village board, know what our financial constraints are from a tax standpoint, and we set aside properties to put commercial property on there, not just necessarily all residential, to close the gap that we have, the burden on us. So it definitely needs some work. So I don't have any other questions, comments on it. Does anybody else? All right. Ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Sawansky? Batterman?
Yes. That motion carries.
That's all we have under Building and Zoning tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Hopkins. Community and Economic Development, Committee Chairman Gansey.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's nothing to report tonight.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Gansey. Finance Committee, Chairman Laporte.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have one item on the agenda this evening. It's the resolution adopting the Village of Bartlett budget for fiscal year 2026-2027. The Village Board reviewed the fiscal year 26-27 budget at the March 3rd and March 10th Finance Committee meetings. with a budget discussion at the April 7th committee meeting, a $400,000 increase to the water main / lead service replacement program budget was approved at the March 3rd board meeting, while budget reductions of $412,000 were approved at the April 7th committee meeting. These changes reduced the total budget expenditures to $81,940,921. A public hearing was conducted on April 7th. I move to approve Resolution 2026-2027-38R, a resolution approving the adoption of the fiscal year 2026-27 budget in the amount of $81,940,921.
Second that.
By trustee Laporte, second by trustee Daney. Clerk, or does anybody have any questions?
The $400,000 increase, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so that's an increase when we discussed the award of the project to, instead of eliminate some of the lead services with the water main, this is to eliminate all of them. So we have 71 currently, and by the end of the year, we'll have none.
It's 3 years ahead of the EPA deadline.
Does the increase include the removal of what we talked about at the last committee meeting? Removal of the well house behind?
Yeah, all the cuts that were presented at the committee and approved, this does reflect that.
I know, but didn't we talk about adding onto the budget to include?
Oh, you mean the
Well house.
demolition of the well house?
Is that included in this?
It does not, right?
So that was just using money from, I think that was the BETA and, what's that? Bike path.
Oh,
So it didn't change any of the numbers.
right.
So
Can,
that's something the
It
board.
reallocated those numbers from the BETA and from contingencies to cover the costs of that demolition.
it did not take away from our sidewalks or our bike paths as it sits right now, because it's a contingency, correct? So,
Each of the items included in the budget that we are looking, like purchases, those are going to come up separately for approval, correct? Even though they're approved in the budget, allocating them is a different story.
When there is a contract, it comes back to the board for approval, and the purchases above $20,000.
Thank you.
any other questions? As the clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
That motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Chairman Laporte. License and Ordinance Committee, Chairman Bannerman.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's no agenda for this committee tonight.
All right, thank you, Chairman Bannerman. Police and Health Committee, Chairman Swansky.
Mr. President, there's nothing on the agenda this evening.
Chairman Swansky. Public Works and Golf Committee, Chairman Daney.
Thank you, Mr. President. We only had one item on the agenda, and it was approved on consent. We have nothing else this evening.
Thank you, Chairman Daney. Any new business? No? All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney, second by trustee Swansky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
We are adjourned.